Hello, my wonderful AJR fans out there. We have some insanely exciting news today. We are officially in a new era. We have a new song coming out soon, and I wanted to run through a few theories that I've heard and some that I've kind of come up with and see what you guys think about them. So that's pretty much what we're going to be talking about in this video. But before we get started, I just wanted to say if you enjoy talking about this kind of stuff and you enjoy this content, I would greatly appreciate if you subscribe to this channel. As we are approaching this new album, I'll 100% be making more videos about AJR and what to expect from this album, so I'm sure it'll be worth it for you. All right, so now let's dive into this discussion about what we have seen in the last few weeks, starting off with kind of like a timeline of what has happened. So first of all, on October 20th, AJR made a tweet saying, "End of an era. Gonna do a longer post tomorrow once we've collected our thoughts, but can't thank you enough for the love you've given OKO. You've changed our lives forever. Hope you know that." And that officially closed the books on OKO. So the next day, as they promised, they released a statement saying, "Last night we played the final show of the OKO tour. It's officially the end of the OK Orchestra era. After playing for over 350,000 of you all around the world, we figured out what made these last 2 years so special. It felt like this one album became the bookends of our world being turned upside down with COVID to the joy of experiencing life and music together again. You've embraced a weird theatrical instrumorphy record in a way we could never have dreamed of, and want to say thank you. Thank you for proving that the album as an art form still maybe means something. That you guys want to get lost in the worlds we make up. Going home now, let's do this forever, please." So it was a cute, heartfelt message, and most importantly, just kind of talks about albums and how they love making them, right? So just a few days after that, on October 25th, they responded to this question. "How many songs are you guys creating at the moment?" And they said 3 stars, 5 stars, 3 stars, will have 13 songs. It has to. You'll see. So what we can pull from this is that the 3 stars, 5 stars, 3 stars is that the title of the album is going to be 3 letters, 5 letters, and 3 letters. And of course, this 3-word album is going to have 13 songs on it, which is a pretty good amount of songs. And then for about 2 weeks, we didn't hear anything. Until finally the silence was broken on November 11th, when they tweeted out this image that had a picture that said TMM on it, and it said tomorrow. And yes, I know at first glance it looks like it says MTM on it, but trust me, it is TMM. So as they promised, the next day on November 12th, they tweeted out a video. And in this animated video, you see this guy coming out of his car, and then it eventually pans up to the 3 brothers, and they're just ginormous. Now, it's not really certain whether or not they're like attacking the city or these people, but they're definitely causing some chaos. And of course, the audio to this has a new song, which kind of sounds like it could be the opener to the new album. Some people are speculating that maybe this is a few different songs stitched together in this one video, and I would say that, you know, that's kind of how they make their intros to the album, so this is likely, in my opinion, to be an opener. But that's just speculation. But regardless, at the end of the video, it says, "A new era has begun, TMM." And to confirm that it is TMM, AJR did tweet out 4 times TMM, so that's how we know that this is not MTM. And the last thing that I wanted to mention about this video is feat. But the story does not end here. On November 13th, we got another tweet saying, "Enough waiting. The DJ is Crying for Help comes out Thursday night at midnight." Now, if you're not familiar with that song title, The DJ is Crying for Help, I did talk about it in a previous video, which you can find right here. But basically, AJR put out this TikTok of Jack running through the hills, set to this new song, and everyone kind of really liked it. And the most notable part about the song is that it features this really fast violin part. So yeah, we're already getting a new song in just a few days now. So definitely mark your calendars, and don't forget that's Thursday night at midnight, which is technically Friday night. And when it says midnight, I'm assuming it means Eastern time, but I'm sure we'll find out all that information very soon. And now that we've gone through the timeline of everything that has happened in the last few weeks, let's now talk about the aesthetic, some theories that we have, and the possible name for the album. So with the aesthetic, it looks like the main colors that they're using are red and blue, and a lot of people are pointing out that, okay, those are like police-like colors, so maybe it has to do something along with that theme. I mean, even in the video that we got, we did see these giant AJR brothers kind of creating havoc graphics, so it would make sense that there's some authority there, right? Also, as this Twitter user mentioned, the font is very similar to the Click. So it's kind of cool how they're reusing these attributes to the old albums. And also with the artwork that we got for the announcement of The DJ Is Crying for Help, we do see all three brothers. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is in relation to what we saw with the release of I Won't. In I Won't, we just got the image of Jack's hat, so it was kind of just Jack, and everyone's like, okay, where's everyone else? But now in hindsight, it kind of appears that that artwork for I Won't was kind of hinting at what we're going to get from this album. It uses very similar colors, similar art style. It has the giant hat, and we see the giant brothers here in this artwork. So it seems like it was kind of a nice Easter egg of what to expect from this coming album. Speaking of Easter eggs, this isn't the only time that we see them hinting at what to expect from this album. Like recently when they played on Jimmy Fallon, they performed with these like skyscrapers, so it appeared as if they were giant, which is of course what we saw from the video and from this album art for The DJ Is Crying for Help. And it's kind of cool because they were even wearing the same clothes. Some people are also pointing at the scene in Way Less Sad where Ryan is walking, and it's from an angle where it's like looking up at him, where he looks kind of like giant. And then another potential Easter egg that we saw was in the music video for I Won't, when we saw feet. And one of the coolest ones that I wanted to mention was from this video.
And then I have to
figure it out. Imagine it going to Bob.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my
Isn't that
god.
insane?
That is so fucking amazing.
That's like the best choir thing I've ever done.
By far.
The way he describes what he's listening to sounds a lot like what we got in the preview video for the album. So those are all just really cool moments that I think AJR was just being super intentional. And now let's talk about some theories. So in that teaser video that we got, it says the line 1-2 Pandemonium. Now some people are saying that maybe this album will be released on 1-2, January 2nd. And to that, I would say it's probably not likely because that falls on a Monday, first of all. And then also it just like seems really early in the year. It seems like a really weird time to do it. I think they would prefer to release it on a Friday like normal, but you never know. And they did say that it would be released early next year. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Now, some theories of songs that could be on the album include I Won't, which is very likely. The DJ Is Crying for Help, which we obviously know is going to be on there. The marching band song, which was kind of this this TikTok that we got a while ago. It features this very marching band sound. It was very reminiscent of Ordinary-ish People. And again, that was kind of a teaser that they put up that they seemed really excited for. And yeah, I do think that has a lot of potential of being on this album. There's the song that we got in the teaser, 1-2 Pandemonium is what people are calling it, which obviously is going to be on the album. There's Kill the Joke, which is an old OKO song that was scrapped, which I think also has potential of being on this. And last but not least, Turning Out 3, which again, we've talked about in a previous video, and I would absolutely love it if this is on the album. So out of all of those that I mentioned, there were 6 there, and it's a 13-part album. So if all of them are on there, we kind of know half the album. Now, the last theory that I wanted to talk about revolves around a song that we got a long time ago back in the Living Room album. In the song The Green and the Town, they reference giants a lot. And obviously with this new album, they are giants in the artwork, in the video that we saw. So some people are saying, you know, maybe this album has ties to the Living Room. And the very last thing that I wanted to go over in this video is what the potential name of the album could be. So I've seen a lot of different suggestions for what it could be and reasonings behind them, and I kind of came up with a list of things that I think have the most potential. So we know that it's TMM, and it's 3 letters, 5 letters, and 3 letters. So the first one that I wanted to mention is the Macro Men. And this one made sense to me because what we see in the video is giant AJR, right? And macro, meaning big, makes sense in the context of this title. Another one that I saw was the Music Men, and this one, for as on the nose as it is, I think is a little too generic for AJR. I mean, first of all, I think it's too close to the Music Man, which is a musical, but also I just think that AJR would have a very creative, crazy sounding album like OK Orchestra or something just beyond something like the Music Men. One that I thought was super convincing was the Media Men, and this kind of ties roots to I Won't. In the lyrics, they have something that says how the way they're portrayed isn't, doesn't meet the standards of society. So I can see how this album, maybe talks about that more in depth, and potentially even the title could be something similar to that, being like the media mob or something that kind of talks about these people who are always, looking to fit people into a box and how they are going against that somehow. Another one that I liked was the manic mob, because in that video that we got, it says 1, 2, pandemonium, and it would just make sense in the context of that this album has to do with just craziness and chaos. Another thing to think about is that they could potentially even use their last name, Met, in that last slot of the TMM. I mean, we have seen them use names before, like in Joe, but I wasn't super convinced by this, but you never know. But the final one that I was super convinced about was the Metal Men. And just off the bat, that kind of sounds silly, right? And doesn't sound like it fits. But here's why I was a little convinced by this one. When I think of the term Metal Man or Metal Men, the first things that pop into my mind are the Iron Giant and War of the Worlds. Somewhere I'm pretty sure they mentioned the aliens there as Metal Men. And in both cases, not only were they kind of aliens, but they were giants. And of course, what did we see from this announcement video? They're giant beings, right? And not only that, but if you look really closely at the video, it appears that the three of them are almost metallic looking. And also something that I mentioned way back when I Won't came out, and that first artwork came out for that, is that it has Jack's hat up in the sky and it looks like it's a UFO. And you see the people on the ground kind of just like pointing up at it and just in awe because they think it's like an alien or something. So I don't know, just to me, it made a lot of sense that when I've ever heard of metal men before, it's just been giant metal aliens. And in this video that we get, it looks like they're giant metal aliens. So that's kind of just my thought on this whole thing. But of course, feel free to comment below what you think the title is. And honestly, even if you want to spam the comments with ideas of what you think it could be, like 5 minutes after you just posted one, go for it. So just to wrap things up with this conversation, I don't think any of us are really going to know and be able to guess this title for this album. But if somebody does guess it ahead of time before the album does come out, you have full bragging rights until the end of this era. And that, my friends, concludes this video. Now, if you enjoyed it, of course, leave a like below. And like I said, I'm going to be making a lot of videos just like this leading up to the album release and even after the album release. So definitely subscribe if you want more content just like this. But don't forget, Thursday is the release of the new song, so get excited for that. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.